Those of you who follow me on a regular basis know that I'm not going to be happy until I install a chute blocker onto this mower. Alright, before we get started, I want to apologize right up front because you know that I can get long-winded when I start doing videos. I try to keep them at the 10-minute mark, but they end up getting into 20, 30, 40 minutes. And I think this one's gonna be at least 30 minutes. So bear with me. I'm just gonna go through the insulation. I'm not going to get too much into detail. If I did, this video would probably be in over an hour. So let's get to it. For the last several years, we've been using chute blockers on all our finish mowers, including all of our Time Masters. They all have their version of chute blockers installed on each mower, and we're a big fan of using chute blockers, especially, that we have a lot of small yards and, we're dealing with, up against houses and garden beds and cars and such. So, we really like to, use the chute blockers to our advantage, for various reasons and even safety reasons. So, the original chute blocker that I had was on the Skag. Now, if you remember several years ago, they had a company called Trimmer Trap. Now, Trimmer Trap was probably one of the first few that were selling chute blockers. And then from there, that now if you did a search on the internet, I mean, they have advanced chute, quick chute, power chute. So they're all really good manufacturers that produce, a good quality chute blocker. But in my case, I kind of took the concept from the original Trimmer Trap version and kind of modified it and, made it my own. And from there, I've been installing them pretty much on all our mowers. When I was designing and making the kit to install on this mower, it took me a little bit longer than probably what it should have, and that was because mainly I didn't want to drill any holes into the deck to mount this thing. So I had to think about it and think of something that how I can mount this without adding any holes, because this is a brand new mower. Hasn't even cut a blade of grass yet, and I'm already thinking about putting holes in it, and I just couldn't do it. So as far as the mower itself, especially being brand new and it's under warranty, now like I say, if it was a used mower, I would probably had no problem. But drill one hole, and that was in the plate that holds the grass catcher on, and that was the hole right here that I put. It was a 1/2-inch hole. So that's the only hole that I needed to do. And hopefully when I go through this installation, you'll see why the reason why I did it this way. The last video was me installing this bagger system onto the Hustler Surfer Pro. And what I really like about having baggers on mowers is that I like the 3-in-1 concept, where you can discharge, bag, or mulch the clippings. Especially with us with smaller yards, to have that versatility really helps us be efficient. So I personally never seen a grass deflector that was mounted onto the assembly for the grass catcher. I thought that was a really cool thing because with this concept here, you can leave the plate on the mower and still have your discharge capability. So now with putting the chute blocker on this mower here, we're not going to be using the grass deflector, so we're going to end up taking that off. To pop this off is pretty easy. It's just a little pin that's on here. Pop the pin out and you slide the rod out. Now you just got to be a little bit, or in my case, you know, you have to be a little careful because this is spring loaded, and you just want to be careful that it doesn't, you know, pop out on you. So just slowly just take the pin out. And then I can just reassemble this and keep it, you know, keep it like that. So if I ever did take off the chute blocker for whatever reason, you know, if I was selling it or whatever, I can at least put everything back to original. Alright, here's the kit of all the components that I used for making the modification. The actual plate that's going to be used for the, you know, blocking the discharge is a metal plate that I got this from, I believe, Lowe's, and just cut it down and spray painted it and put the holes in for mounting it. So that's the plate there. I also got 2 of these. These are gate, I believe they're called gate hinge straps, I believe. I'm not sure if you can get these at Home Depot or Lowe's, but I did get these from Tractor Supply. I think they're normally, like, you can get them like 6, 8 inches, whatever, but this is a 6-inch one, and I ended up cutting it, and that's so that I can, you know, mount it on here. So I got 2 of those, and then what else? The mounting. What I'll do is I'll time lapse this here, get this all together, and then we'll go from there. Alright, I got it. Got the flap on there. What I did was prior to this, I did drill 3 holes through the bracket, on each bracket, and it's a eighth inch roll pin in there. And then also this here is it's a socket. It's a 3/8 socket, so I ended up, you know, drilling a hole in there and putting an eighth inch pin in there as well. So that's what we're going to be, you'll see what this is for with the socket. So this is pretty much what it'll look like when it's said and done, seems to be fine. So, all right, now connecting from there, you wonder how, like what, you know, like you said, what was this for? This socket here. What this is for is that I got a. This is for pretty much all my other mowers. This is the difference between all the other, or most all of the other chute blockers that you see out there. Is I use a flexible socket extension. This one happens to be a 3/8 by 12, I believe. So, and all the other mowers use the same concept. Now the Time Masters are, I think they're smaller, but on the Skag has, I think the Skag has actually a little bit longer one. So, okay, like I mentioned before, I had to drill a hole, and that's what this hole here is. If you take the socket, a flexible socket extension, and put it through the hole and connect it to the other end of the socket, and there you go. And that's kind of the finished of the mechanical portion of this installation. I'll switch the camera over and we'll work on the motor side, and I'll show you what I'm going to do to you know, get that installed. All right, now the motor that I'm using is what they use on a lot of the other chute blockers. If they're using like the electric version, motorized, they use the power window motor. So I'm using the same one. What I did was on the shaft here, I welded or spot welded a socket reducer from a 1/2 inch to a 3/8. So that's when I'm going to be using that. Now, as far as the bracket, this is where I didn't want to drill holes, so I had to come up with an idea of using the existing, whatever existing holes were there, and try to make some kind of bracket. So I ended up getting some metal pieces. Now these metal brackets, I mean, you can get them pretty much at Home Depot, Lowe's, you know, Tractor Supply, and you just, like you say, you can just kind of build your own brackets by just, you know, cutting them up and you know, drilling holes. So that's what I ended up doing on this one here. So, and what I'll do is I'll time lapse this here real quick, and I'll get this together. All right, this is what it looks like. Kind of see it from this direction here. Like I say, I put the bracket in. and I used hose clamps to mount the mower onto the bracket there, and you can see where how the socket for the extension that comes around to the flap here. So I think that's it for the mechanical part, and we'll go up to the next step, which is the electrical. So I'll set the camera up, and we'll start installing the electrical side. All right, next we're going to do I guess we can run the switch. This is the switch here, and I also made a bracket. Now, like I said, then again, I could have maybe drilled a hole somewhere in here for a toggle switch, but like I said, I didn't want to be drilling any holes yet. So I'm gonna, at least for now, I'm gonna put a bracket. I made a bracket here, and I'll use these existing screws or bolts that they have the front plate on the console there. I'll use that and then mount the switch onto that. So let me time lapse this part. All right, here's the switch installed. It doesn't look too bad. Eventually, like you say, I don't know, maybe drilling a hole or something, I don't know. But I personally would like it on the handlebars. I like it where, I can be mowing and I can easily, open and close the chute without lifting my hand up and putting it on the switch. My Skag is like that. That's why I really like the Skag version, because I can leave my hand on the controls, and I can also open and close the chute without lifting my hand up. So I'm gonna have to later on reevaluate this switch thing, and we'll go from there. But meanwhile, we'll just leave it there. So the next thing we're going to be installing is the control box. This control box here, I could have wired it, since this is has a starter on it and has a battery. I could have wired it right to the battery, but I didn't want to do that electrically, just for the reason that this mower is brand new, and if something went wrong electrically, I didn't want to be blamed for anything as far as if they wouldn't cover it under warranty. Now my other mowers, they don't use they don't have batteries. So what it is inside here I got a mini battery pack. So but in the future I can switch the way that I have it wired. I can run it directly off the battery in the future. So maybe after the warranty's done, I'll go ahead and just take the battery pack part out and then just run it strictly off of the mower battery. So, but for now I'll just leave it at that. And this is also the charging port, so it charges. These are those lithium batteries, so you know, every week or every other week I can recharge the battery. So let me go ahead and hook this box up, and I'll time lapse this, and we'll see you on the other side. Alright, I got the box mounted there. Strangely, the box I was using, it's almost like the holes were meant to be. Kind of, that's usually pretty odd. But as far as the wiring, I wired up the switch. This connector here goes up to the switch, and the other wire here goes around to the motor. So I'm gonna wire tie it once I test it here. So this is the first test. See if it works or not. See if I can get a good angle here. Try to get the switch and the motor at the same time. So here we go. You ready? I'm going to open it. I'm going to go open. There you go. And we're going to close it. So there you go. Open and close. Pretty good, huh? Yeah, it turned out really well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. So I'm going to go ahead and wire tie these cables up, and we'll do a final look over, and I'll be back real soon. Okay, we're all done, ready to go. So everything's looking good. Now this mower is as far as I'm concerned, it's considered a 3-in-1 mower. So all I have to do is hit the switch, open up the chute, and we're in full discharge mode. And then, you know, we can control, you know, how much, you know, if we wanted to divert the clippings, you know, we can adjust accordingly. We can close it all the way and go into, I mean, I would call it mulch mode, but it's not true mulching because I don't have the mulching kit on there. Now that's the next thing I want to get, is a mulching kit, and install that on there, and to see if I'm able to still, you know, use the bagger and the chute blocker as well. Because that would be really nice if we could actually put mulching blades on there and use the, you know, full mulching capability. Then if we want to go into bagging mode, we just open up the chute all the way. So now it's full open, and then we can take the bagger, pop the bagger on there, and now we're in bagging mode. So I don't know, I'm looking I'm pretty excited right now. Hopefully this will all come together once we start mowing here in the next 2 weeks. So the next video, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Like I said, I might try to get the mulching kit, but I don't know if I'll get that in. I'll probably have to order that and have it shipped, but we'll go from there. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll check you out in the next video.